And everyone everywhere, Tampa Motormouth in the zone behind the microphone as we skillfully go, oh yeah, it would probably be a good time to hit the unmute button along with...
Flying Ryan Gilchrist here with you today.
And how are y'all doing? Can you believe it's already week 2 is done and past, and we're already looking at week 3 in the football?
Week 3 starts tomorrow night.
And what day?
Thursday schedule's really throwing us off.
Yeah, it's because you're used to, like, you're usually used to, like, okay, we don't have to deal with Thursday until right when it's Thanksgiving, and then we know Black Friday, both of us work in retail, so that's like, no.
Oh, I know it's worse where you're at than me, so I'm okay with that.
True. But it's like, because usually when it's like Black Friday and all that, that's when it usually starts the Thursday games, and now they've gone and thrown everyone a huge loop here. Thursday games to start off in the first weekend. When you're doing all the fantasy games, you have to admit that really throws you off.
It does. If you're not thinking about it, we have a pick'em league, and if you don't think about it, because I didn't think about it, and I just happened to do it when I got here, you don't make those picks. You have that first game, you're automatically wrong every game on Thursday night, even if it's something really obvious, which so far hasn't been, but there will be. It throws you completely off. Plus, if you have somebody who's hurt, fantasy football, you don't think about it. They go on Thursday night. You're stuck with that guy in the lineup. Maybe he gets 2 points or none at all. If Antonio Gates type situation, late scratch. You don't have time to adjust it.
Or they may not hurt at all. They may just suck this year, a.k.a. Matt Schaub.
Matt Schaub, I hate you so much right now.
Well, that's okay. It's like, other than that second half, I was really worried about Peyton Manning in that Monday night game. And then, if you probably played against either of these folks, you probably lost. Reggie Bush would be definitely in there. C.J. Spiller, who I'm happy to say I have on one team. And also RG3 and Victor Cruz, who was dominant against the Bucks, because I have actually watched one full half. And just sort of throwing this out there, if you're out there and you know the pain, because it's like you got to make the money, you got to work for a living, you got to pay the bills, but when it's Sunday and your brain, because I've figured out a way, because both of us tend to usually work on Sunday. I know, usually do. I know.
Usually. I happen to have this Sunday off, which was kind of nice, but usually not. No.
Yeah, because it's like I've learned. You see, there's a trick. Don't turn on the TV. Don't turn the radio, because if you get your mind into football mode, then that's when the depression starts in. But if you just like, okay, I'm going to focus on the day, I'm going to have a good day at work, it's going to be cool, we're going to get through, rock and roll, we can keep track of the fantasy scores and all that. So this is throwing that out there, not whining or not complaining, but I'm sure we're not alone, because there has to be a whole segment of population that most people are like, their Sundays are like, go ahead, get the beer, boom, go home, all right, I'm ready for football, let's rock and roll, let's go. But you have a huge segment of the population that you are in the same boat we are, and your Sundays are highlights and scores, and maybe watching a replay or two in the middle of the week. So, in case you wonder sometimes why we don't, well, let's go ahead and let's break down this game, let's do that. It's because we're just like you out there. If you work Sunday and you're sort of like, man, it's like you're sort of in another dimension. But then you get home, it's like, all right, well, how did my fantasy team do? So on and so forth. And now I'm absolutely totally rambling, so how about you tag in, do an audible, since I'm like going off on this one tangent.
No, I mean, the best you can do with that is have a DVR. And, of course, if you're in a local market, you're going to be stuck with the local games. I mean, in Tampa, it was a good
local game, because I have watched the entire first half of the Tampa Giants game, because one thing I've learned that I'm like the type of person that I'm sort of like a numbers type guy. I'm oh man, this team had a really good game, I can just look at that at the numbers, but there's also another dimension that you tend to lose if you don't watch the game, because you may talk to somebody who may either actually played sports or played football at some level, and if you're trying to talk to that person and you're looking at it from a numbers perspective, and they're like, well, okay, did you watch the game? And I never really understood that until when I actually sit down and take the time. Okay, even though the game is already final, you kind of know the outcome. There's some things you can pick up just in the first half alone. They're like, I noticed Victor Cruz was totally on a mission against the Bucs. I mean, it's like everything that Eli threw his way, and I just had to see the first half he caught. And then there's like right before the half, Eric Wright from the Bucs had a huge pick six against Eli, and you're amazed that the Bucs ended up choking that away the second half. And there are just so many good. And then LeGarrette Blount, who was only in there, I think, for maybe barely one possession, because he wasn't in there for all that much. If you have him on fantasy, you're probably riding him on your bench, like most people are. You picked him up, or maybe you did a trade because somebody offered me Toby Gerhart for LeGarrette Blount. I was thinking, well, okay, I already have Doug Martin, so why me if I pick up LeGarrette Blount? That would be a good handcuff, and so far that trade has not exactly worked out too well for moi.
Mm-hmm. No, not so good for you.
And just the Bucs, and of course then you have the play at the end of the game that we have to fast forward and talk about that, because that I think has made the media more so than absolutely any of the other games. Even though you've had a couple upsets, Cowboys losing, Patriots losing, with the Bucs and the G-men going at it. You had, of course, the last kneel down, which it's just sort of a, we'll get to if it's a written rule, unwritten rule. And Greg Schiano, the head coach of the Buccaneers, had the Bucs go full 100% like it was a normal play, and Coughlin and Schiano, I doubt, were exchanging emails after the game. And so the whole point is out there. This is something that I know this is Wednesday already, so this has been absolutely talked to death by now on every medium out there. But still, it would be a good impromptu debate. Do you think it's an unwritten rule? Is that something that you hope that the Bucs don't do again? I'm sort of curious. I know you're a Dolphins fan. You are a huge Dolphins fan. So what is your whole take on that? Because with me, I would be sort of like, let's sort of think about this, and I think I'm going to actually just start this again.